Yeah, I've got the recording started, so I can hit it whenever you're ready.
All right, I'm recording. Yeah, just started.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Walk us through it.
All right, we're back. We're back to do Talons of the Eagle. So
That's right.
this is one I remember at Blockbuster Video. I would
Oh, yeah?
always see it, but it was like they're two cops.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because of that,
DEA and cops.
DEA
Yeah.
and so one is American, the other is Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Billy
Yeah.
Blank's the American police, and then
Yeah.
Jalal Merhi is the Canadian.
Yeah, yeah. And Billy Blanks is the DEA guy, I think is what it is. And
Okay.
and Jalal Mary is the Canadian cop.
Canadian
But they're both wild like wild dogs, cowboys. I think that's how like Billy Blank's boss, his supervisor, he gives him the file. He's like, you're gonna love him. He's just like you.
He's just like you, except Jalal's definitely the like more calm, cooler, right?
Yeah.
And Billy's a little bit more the wild American,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Typical. And so anyway, they go there, and then they're gonna enter a tournament.
Yeah, they're going up against a super villain. We gotta just spill the beans right away. It's Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
He is a super villain. All right, he's immortal, and he's got the magic. Like
Lopan.
He's got this sword at the end that comes out, and
okay, he's not like Lopan, but it's the guy that
he's
plays.
Not Lopan.
It's the guy that plays Lopan, and
they're going up against a major crime lord that
That's
runs a lot of the industry. He runs the trafficking. He runs the girls. He's got a lot of. It's especially with the girls. He's got a lot of blackmail material on every politician that is coming up in the ranks, and that gives him incredible power, so that he can import his drugs, and the judges can give him permits, and they can grant appeals for people that are in his circle. It's just an incredibly well written movie. So this is top notch movie.
He's running basically a nightclub, and in this nightclub is all the things that you're happening, where the hostess girls and stuff will take
his
the
whole
politicians.
Super criminal empire comes out of this nightclub.
As the front is a nightclub, and then he'll take the politicians there, and he'll frame them like you're saying, and everything.
Yeah, it's like a nightclub casino parlor where you can meet escort girls and go into rooms, private rooms. It's got everything. The roulette table, you name it, there's everything there. He calls it the adult entertainment. People can come and throw their money away, and he says, "Look over there, that's a magistrate," and and like he's giving the tour. But I'm jumping ahead. Let's slow it down.
So the Billy Blanks and the Jalal, they both go undercover.
Yes,
and Billy,
he's in New York. He does something like he does a case, closes his case, and then he's off to.
Right.
That's how it starts out. Right. That's how his boss says, "You're off to Toronto now. I need you to work on this."
Right. So they both become undercover there, and they're going to work there, and there's
a tournament.
And there's a tournament, and there's also a third person that's undercover, which is the girl.
Oh, Cassandra.
So it's a little bit like Enter the Dragon,
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything goes back to Enter the Dragon.
Everything goes back to... And then we have Matthias Hughes.
Dude.
Come on. Great villain. If you can't have Bolo, you got to have this guy, right? So
I saw an interview of his where he finally pronounces his name.
Yeah.
And it's like in German, he says it's Matthias Hughes.
Okay.
So it's like, but he doesn't mind saying, but if you're saying Matthew, so Matthews.
Yeah, Matthews.
Who's. Like, look who's talking. That's what he says, who's.
Okay.
So I was like, whoa, I was blown away. Like, what a cool pronunciation. But I've always called him Matthias Hughes. I'm always going to call him Matthias Hughes. He's the best. That guy is awesome, dude.
He's awesome.
He's like,
awesome.
Boom,
yeah.
boom. He runs the security for Lopan.
That's right.
And which I'm always going to call him Lopan. He runs his security, and he says right away, who did the background check on these two guys?
Yeah.
He sees it right away.
Right. But they're able to, like, wasn't there a scene
at
where...
the tournament.
Yeah, they're trying to kill Lopan, and they rescue him, so then they pretty much win his trust there.
Some other bad guys are trying to kill Lopan.
Right.
They step in between and do the number there and their Eagle Claw, and they take the guys out.
Right.
But let's go back to that Eagle Claw training. That was so awesome.
Yeah. That's a big part of the movie.
Premise of the movie.
Yeah, that's a big part of the movie. So. Yeah. One person, like you said, the Lopan is freaking predominant criminal in this city.
He's a
super villain, but he cannot buy out one guy, and this one guy, or I'm sure there's other people, but this one guy is a martial arts master who's very honorable, and he refuses to give in.
Oh, that's the beginning scene
at the Lion.
He's having the kung fu demonstration, and Lopan shows up with the money. And he's like, no, I've got this money for you. I don't want your money. He takes the torch and just burns it.
Oh, man.
And he says, like, you are so old-fashioned, Master Peng.
Yeah.
You're so old-fashioned.
So that's the part. And then later on, we find out that, his son had entered the same tournament and I guess was killed. So he immediately knows that the Billy Blanks and Jalal are two guys that are going to give him the opportunity for revenge. So he trains these guys. He knows they're special.
Yeah.
And hence the training begins, right?
Oh, dude, the training is awesome. Awesome. The push-ups, the push-ups on the claws, everything. Like the running with the log was just so awesome. And is this the one where there's like an eagle claw babe swimming in a canal?
Yeah.
And yes, how could I forget? Oh yes.
So they use her later again where she's like, I don't know, like topless or something, and she distracts the guard or something like that. But anyway, this the whole eagle claw thing. Like, what do you think of the style? Like,
I thought it was great. I thought that when Master Peng would do it, you could really see that his body form was totally bird. He was totally always, when he was moving, everything, all his engagement, his footwork, everything was in a bird form. It looked like a bird form to me. I'm not an expert, but I would call it a bird form. Okay. Like, I can tell the difference between Chinese characters and Japanese characters. Right. So it's totally obvious to some people. There's a billion people out there that can see the difference. In this martial art, I could see that when Master Peng was moving, he was so authentic. Well, I don't know if he specializes in that in real life.
And the reason why I ask you is because I know, and I've been to your tournament, so I know the...
Yeah, we used to have a bird form in the Shaolin.
You've trained in the Chinese martial arts for... How long were you doing that?
I did that one for 3 years at the dojo, and then just a little bit after for, on my own there.
Okay, yeah. And then you were training outside, like with the trees and stuff. So
yes, all that stuff was on my own part, and it continued, and I still have my logs here in my house.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do the eagle claw anymore, or the tiger claw, but I'm sure against a fleshy person, it would. It's the tree is hard. Right. Like when you see those guys ripping the living daylights out of a tree.
Well, you know what's awesome is that Gary Daniels. I don't know what he started in, but like. At one point, and probably when he filmed Ring of Fire, when he was in that movie, he was probably training at the Jet Center, Benny the Jet's place.
Okay, yeah.
And he does say that in an interview that he was training at the Jet Center, and that was probably also for his film career. But so that's what he was doing, a lot of kickboxing, Muay Thai kickboxing from Benny the Jet, and so that's you could clearly see he really likes that style.
You could see it in his form.
Yeah, he uses a lot of it. So, but then like later on, like I don't know how much later, but he started getting more into the Chinese martial arts, and he was doing a lot of the body hardening, you know, the conditioning, like you were saying, like bumping into trees and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I know that like when you do that kind of training, I mean, the kickboxing is awesome and the full contact is super important. And if you've never competed and never, gone full contact and never sparred like that, then you really, you're going to have a hard time understanding fighting. But once you've done all that,
if you're young enough, you should go out and try it.
Yeah. And once you've done all that, though, if you keep doing it, your body falls apart. So this is when now you already know what real fighting is like.
Yeah.
What another person that's really trying to kick your butt is going to feel like.
Yeah.
So then from there, you go into like this kind of more natural training where you're not messing up your body and you're just making it stronger. I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool. You see Master Pang's knuckles?
Yeah, his knuckles.
Did you see his knuckles in the
Yeah. You triggered a memory right now from I know we just talked about it, but in Ring of Fire, the Terry, the brother cousin, he's doing that isometric training in the swimming pool. That was so awesome.
Right.
And I failed to mention that, but that was just so awesome that he's doing that, and that's that isometric because he's moving and you see that, and
how about the
even Dawn is teaching his girl the cloud hands from the Tai Chi short form.
Yes.
They don't really show the Tai Chi footwork so much, but it's there partially, and so we're getting these sprinkles of real life stuff that if you're curious enough, you can take it out of the real life, take it out of the movie, and bring it into the real life. Going back to Talons, some of that stuff. If you did it enough in real life, like run around like that with a bird form, and like it would do something to your spine, it would change your thing, and when you move, you've got your bird wings out, and you're ready to rock. Like, so you've got not only, because, normally when we fight, we've got this kind of distance, but now the range doubles, and you've got like a double distance because you're dealing with it. It's expanding. So there's something going on there with the body that's changing, and then picking up the log, like doing curls like that. Like all that stuff seems fantastic and out of this world. But if you go back to the tradition and that one line that the evil villain tells the master, he says, "You're so old-fashioned, your old-fashioned ways." Like sometimes those old-fashioned things, they work. But they're doing curls. There's Billy Blanks is lifting that log with his eagle claw.
Right.
And I like how they go up against the snake. The eagle guy goes up against the snake.
Yeah.
And is the snake, is that Quan again? Eric Lee? Is that him or am I getting him confused? I think he comes out in this movie again.
Does he? Okay.
I think,
It's
I think or no, maybe I'm getting confused. It could be somebody else. Do you remember the Tiger Claws where they're looking for the Tiger Master and there's a guy doing drunken form and he falls down and he comes back up and like the guy that's doing the drunken form.
Okay.
And later he gets mugged and then Jalal helps him, and he says, "Okay, I'll help you." Him and Cynthia help him, and he said, "Because you helped me, I'll tell you where there's a real Tiger Master. Come with me."
Oh, okay. That
guy definitely comes out.
Okay.
Like I don't know if he's the snake guy or he's somebody. I might be getting confused, but
Eagle Claw versus Snake Kung Fu. I mean that's a big. Those are like two yin and yang, right?
Iconic. That's like the balance. Like that's like Shin versus a Ken. It's
or Dragon Claw versus Tiger Claw, right? It's two rival styles, I think. Yeah. But
they're the balance points of each other. So let's see what happens. So
you really like the training, yeah?
There's a problem in the training,
okay?
Because they don't have enough time.
Oh, that's right. So they triple it?
The master says, I can get you ready in 6 weeks. And they get a phone call. Oh, no, the tournament's in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So they have to triple the training, which is it's insane, but they're able to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
They up the ante, and then they graduate with honors, basically, right?
Yeah,
these guys, they're awesome. Yeah. So they do it. Do you notice that the way that Master Pang was training them, each one was different? Like, because
like it was to their precise. It was a prescription for each one of them.
Right.
I liked it. I liked it. It was.
Yeah, he didn't train them both the same.
It was a legitimate. You saw that because you teach. Yeah, you saw it.
You could see that he didn't train them the same way. No,
it wasn't regimental. It was tribal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then now they're ready, and they get his blessing, and then they go to the tournament, and they got to get into the club, right? And isn't the guy with the big neck there? No.
I think he is. I think you're right.
Is that same guy? I'm getting confused. So many of these movies he's in.
I know. He comes out in a lot of them. I'm not sure. Let's see. In the club.
But Matthias.
No, he's not.
He's not in this one. Okay.
Matthias Hughes is the big dude in this one.
Matthias is in there. Yeah. He's the main dude because he's beating everyone up, if you remember, right?
Yeah.
He beats everyone's afraid of him.
It's there's a ponytail guy though. He's Asian though. Like you see him in a lot of movies.
Okay.
He's sort of buff, but he's like maybe like 5'8". Like he's not a.
Okay.
I've seen him in a couple others. In fact he comes out in Ring of Fire. Okay. He's one of the cousins' right hand man. Like he's the ponytail guy with the glasses.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's in Matthias Hughes' crew.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's definitely not Evan Lurie. Okay. I'm sure.
Right. So, and would you say Matthias Hughes' character and Billy Blank's, do they have a showdown, kind of?
Oh, they sure do. He throws the coat right in his face, like
the two buff dudes.
When he has to assault Jalal Mary, like his character, he has no choice. I mean, his cover's been blown. Both of their covers have been blown at this point.
They're testing his loyalty, right?
Yeah.
And so he beats up Jalal. Billy Blanks beats up Jalal just to prove that, hey, I'm still with you guys.
But right? Jalal eggs him on. He's like, "Is that all you got?" He's bleeding from the face. He's all bruised and stuff. And he's like, "Is that all you got?"
Right.
Boom. Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry that I'm butchering these guys' names because it's like I know it's not Lopan, but I love Big Trouble in Little China. Come on, how can you not call him that? It's like Superman.
That's his best role. Yeah.
Yes,
Lopan
like
is his
Superman
best role.
for me is Clark is this guy's Christopher Reeves.
Yeah. No, that's his best role for sure.
Yeah. So
Matthias, who's for me, his best role for me is actually I think it was his debut, which was No Retreat, No Surrender 2.
Oh yes, he's the villain, right?
The big Russian guy.
Yes.
He said in an interview that the audition for that movie and then doing that movie, like he had to prove himself and he was treated like crap. He was yelled at and he felt like his ego must have been like brutally destroyed in that movie.
I think in real life his dad's like a doctor and his mom's like something, up there. Like his parents they're well off and they're nice, and he came to Hollywood to become a star, and it was like a no-go.
It's
like
really
he had to work as a bouncer,
yeah,
and it was a real tough life for him.
And then,
then he got this breakout role in 85 or 86, whenever it happened, the part 2. Part 2 happens right away, right after part 1, right?
I'm not sure.
Except without Van Damme.
They wanted Van Damme in there, and then for some reason
But
Van
he
Damme
was doing kickboxer or blood sport.
He was doing something else, so then and then this guy got the role. Matthias got the role, and I mean, he says in an interview, he was like, I wasn't technical enough for the director. Like, I didn't have skills. So the guy, I mean, the director just sounds like a jerk, but he said it toughened him up and helped him, you know, earn more respect and get humble.
He's such a genuine dude.
It sounds like a nice guy, yeah.
When he does his interviews, real chill, real calm. Like, I mean, the dude's like had a great career, man. I enjoy watching his movies where he's the great bad guy, like a Viking bad guy,
great
like the
bad
guy.
Dude, definitely would want him in the next Kumite for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
Yeah,
he's coming out, right?
I hope so. I hope so.
I think I saw his name in the IMDb.
And we're very lucky because in their primes, and it's probably not even their actual primes, but in their primes, we've seen movies with like we've seen him fight Bolo in TC 2000.
TC, right? TC 2000?
TC 2000. They fight, you know.
Man, he runs away in that fight. That's like a cowardly fight at the end because remember the computer's like, this will self-destruct and the self-destruct and they're not self-destruct, but they're doing the surface world thing because that's another surface world, underworld movie.
Right, it is.
And, oh man, there's so many of them.
But we'll get there.
But he fights Billy Blanks in this one in Talons.
Yes.
And their interaction is always from the beginning. There's something. Oh, the first part. Here's the answer to your question. 15 minutes later, he says, "I got a lesson I'm going to teach you." Billy Blanks tells him when they go to the dojo. And Lopan presents him. This is Matthias. He's head of security.
Yeah.
All right. And he looks him over, and he's like, "Yeah, all right." And then Billy Blanks says, "I got a lesson I can teach you later."
Right.
So right from the start.
Yeah, they're gonna end up battling each other. So Jalal's more so.
He's subtle.
Yeah, he's a lot more subtle, and he ends up fighting Lopan, right?
Yeah. That's where I said, like, you know, right away, so energetically, Lopan takes out this baton, and he deploys it, and it sort of looks like a nice sword, but it's actually a baton, and he's chasing him around with it until finally Jalal disarms him.
Wait, did he use the steel? Did he use the fan?
Yeah, he used a lot of weapons.
A steel fan? Yeah.
I fast forwarded a lot to the baton part, but he had a lot of weapons. Go for it.
The steel fan, I think in the Chinese mythology, kind of like the main head boss guy would use like a steel fan, and it was kind of like an impressive thing that it's a hidden secret weapon kind of thing. So
well, he's always got his fan, like, you know, and he's sort of pretending that he's like a wimpy dude, like oh yes, and he laughs and. You know,
but actually, he's trained and he can fight and we
don't know that until the end. He puts up a good fight.
Right. So,
even though he does a lot of running, but he does use the environment to his advantage tactically.
Yeah. So overall, how did you like the movie?
Oh, it was so entertaining. It was such a great movie, especially like the Cassandra. Like, Matthias doesn't take any lip from her. He's just totally like, she's like, "Oh, I'm putting my necklace back in the safe."
Oh, he's like,
you know, like, yeah, right.
And he's like, "Well, let's go check it out with
let's
Lopan.
Go ask him.
Yeah,
right
let's
now.
go ask him."
Like,
and she's like, "No, he gave me the approval. Unless you want to piss him off and ask him, waste his time." And he's like, "No, okay, let's go." So
it's a great movie because it shows you the hierarchy, the network, and how the right-hand man to the boss isn't going to take any lip from anybody, even the boss's girl. He's going to be loyal to the boss all the way to the end. So it's got that story part down. These are well-written stories. I think that comparing them to the movies that we just talked about, like the Dawn the Dragon movies, they're a little bit of a notch up on the writing. There's no mystery to this. There's not much zen. You're getting it right up in your face. They're telling you the story, and it's start to finish, and they're just not sprinkles. Like they're yelling it out. There's morals and values that you're being shown in these movies. Now, and a lot of it is with the character that these guys have, like both off the screen and on the screen.
I think this movie was supposed to be like one of those movies where it's like you get two totally different people and they're forced to partner up. It's a typical Hollywood formula. I think in this one they kind of fail, but I like that because they do a little bit of it, like where they're changing the music. Like the music.
Remember, it's like, hey, I don't want to hear that Beethoven.
Right, right. And Billy Blanks is playing more pop kind of culture music.
And then he says, it's Mozart. And then he says, Mozart, Beethoven, it don't matter.
Yeah, so I mean,
he gets mad at him
they put a little bit in there, but honestly, it doesn't. It kind of all that's put in the back burner, and we get, like you said, awesome training sequence, and then you immediately go into the infiltration of the crime organization, and it's just all action from there, or are they going to get busted, right? So there's suspense and action. So I'm kind of glad that I think. On the script, on paper, it was supposed to be like, I don't know, you know, like Red Heat.
Yeah, I get you.
You know, where it's the
but
two...
it sort of failed, but it excelled in other ways that it elevates the film.
Yeah, because I didn't want to see the two bickering the whole time. You know, that's not entertaining to me. I could care less about that.
Yeah, like I'll tell you though, like I can go back and rewatch Talons.
Yeah.
But Ring of Fire is a harder rewatch for me.
The first one,
The first one, like the drama and the romance, and I'm kind of over that like young girl syndrome. Like, so Talons has like my babe in there. Like, I'm into Eagle Claw Babe, and she's swimming in the creek and. Like, I'm running, you know, that's me. Like, with my I'm running. I'm going to go running in my neighborhood with the bar on my, like that. Like, hey, what's up? Like, what's up, babe?
Yeah. No, I get the whole, it's hard, the romance stuff. But
it's got a lot of rewatchability. Talents.
Yeah, talents for...
So you can tell that the writing in the movie is a step up. It was filmed in Canada. Halal's from Canada.
Right.
So it's totally like right up his alley. Billy Blanks has got he does have a good balance off, but you're right. It's not like man, there's other movies out there kind of where they bring in the foreign.
The most famous is what, the Jackie Chan and Chris.
Yes, that's the perfect example right there. Rush Hour.
Yeah, and you know their dynamic is.
Because I wanted to say Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah,
but they're
that's
not
another
from
one.
Lethal Weapon doesn't bring different parts of the world, like you know, like here we're getting America and Canada. Right. And in Rush Hour, we got China and America.
Right.
Or Hong Kong
and Red Heat, you know.
Russia and America.
Right. So
definitely.
I felt like they were trying to do that, but it didn't work out, and I'm glad it didn't because you know for this budget and for this kind of movie, it's just. Instead, we get the awesome training and stuff, and so I
almost didn't like want to trust like the Billy Blanks' boss.
Oh,
like there was always like a little bit of like distrust. Did you get a vibe too?
Yeah, maybe, but
in the end, it works out. Like he wasn't a sinister guy. It was just
it was fine, and So out of these like cop martial arts action movies. You know, how does this one rank for you?
Oh yeah, this one's high up there, man.
It's high up there.
It's good, right up there with Tiger Claw Part 1.
Oh wow!
And Tiger Claw 2. Oh well, Tiger Claw 1 and 2 are a great pair.
Oh yeah,
but it's right up there because it's got Master Pang, that Eagle Claw training, that whole stuff, and they're eating the rice and everything. It's just then the comedy where Halal's like, I want a steak, and Billy Blanks is like, I want 2 steaks, you know, like,
right.
Like, it's great comedy. I love that comedy. I get it. Grew up in the 80s kid, and by 90s I was in high school, so that was my coming of age time. I get that comedy. I like it.
Yeah.
It's high up there, man. I've got China O'Brien is up there for me because she's a great lady cop. I mean, probably she is the best lady cop of all. And then there's another movie where Cynthia Rothrock, she does a few where she's a cop and she's got a sister who's a reporter, and I forget Eagles and Honor or something like that one's Honor and Gold or Eagle something. It's got a cool name. Then there's
how about Martial Law?
Oh, Martial Law, of course.
Martial Law.
And
yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. Martial Law has a guy from Karate Kid, from the original Karate Kid. One of the guys from the Cobra Kai team.
Wait,
isn't that's the son of real famous 60s actor
Steve McQueen?
Yes.
Steve McQueen, yeah. And he was in the Karate Kid, Chad McQueen. So that's Hollywood royalty right there. And he's teamed up with Cynthia Rothrock, and David Carradine's in it.
That's a great movie. Yeah. I was a little bit bummed that he didn't come back as Martial Law Part 2.
The guy they got in Martial Law Part 2, although I thought that guy, martial arts wise, was pretty incredible to see. Yeah. But he just didn't have that like sparkle that McQueen had. Oh, you like Chad McQueen better?
Yeah. McQueen had he didn't have the martial arts skills as the guy from Part 2, but he had the Hollywood royalty that sparkle. Like, I'm not obsessed with the royalty, but he had there was something in him where he brought a little bit. Oh, maybe it was because as a kid I watched Karate Kid. So I'm already bringing in the universes, like many of us do when we watch movies.
Okay.
And we fantasize about the movies we're bringing in. So I'm bringing in all that baggage, watching him. And that's why I was a little bummed. Like, hey, he didn't come out in Part 2.
Well, I liked Jeff Wincott a lot because he also brought in the Eskrima sticks. He was one of the guys that would do that. Don't get me wrong.
It's just...
but... Yeah, I think those are we just listed off some of the best.
Some cop movies, martial arts and cops. Of course, isn't there one with Sammo Hung from where he's also martial law?
Oh, I think you're right.
Series.
I think he did. Yeah, he did that. Yeah.
And he's an old timer.
Old time. Yeah. You know, I saw him in person.
Oh, no way.
Sammo Hung, yeah. I saw him in person. That guy, I remember I was an extra for a movie, Jet Li movie.
Yeah, I remember.
And I saw Jet Li in person, and
I remember. You told me.
You know, I didn't feel anything. You know,
but when I remember you told me everything. I remember. I got a great memory. You said he smoked and he was. He used bad language.
I wasn't impressed at all. But when I saw Sammo Hung, I was like, "There's a guy that, that's something you don't want to mess with right there."
Wow, cool. That's so cool.
Jet Li at the time, I would have loved to have challenged the guy.
You were really fit back in that time. I mean, you still, but back then, fight. There's something to be younger. That happened. Let's see if I remember. This happened in early 2000s with this movie stuff that you're talking about, or was it even late 90s?
It was late 90s. Yeah,
late 90s, right?
It was mid 90s probably. Yeah.
Mid late 90s. The older.
I would have loved to have fought the guy in a cage match. Now, of course, he has the advantage in a sense that his the training from the what is it, the wushu, and all the world.
Yeah, but we got
national.
Wushu is not combat.
Well, you know, he had the forms. He was the national forms champion, right?
The national forms champion.
Which I'm sure is no joke, right? So
no joke.
For his physical abilities, I'm sure he was in a different league. But in the skill set area, I had different advantages that he couldn't even dream of at the time. So in that sense, I think it would actually been unfair I had the unfair advantage, believe it or not, you know, in that sense. But because I
just never forgot the first day I met you in Aikido club at school, and you know, we went and we partnered up and we uked. And when you went to go pin me, it was like everyone does a normal pin. You took me straight to an arm bar and did an arm bar like that on a takedown. First takedown was a pin with an arm bar. And I was just like, holy smokes, what just happened?
I did that. Oh.
Yeah, I never forgot that. That was like on day one. Like, yeah.
So, but, yeah, no,
So definitely a skill set that I wasn't used to it. I don't think Jet Li would have been used to it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to this.
Yes.
Talons and the way that they wrote it, so entertaining. Like, I can't say anything bad about it. And then, of course, we've got TC2000, which is a great send-off for another movie.
Where they're both working together again. Yeah.
Yeah.
This time,
the Picasso, Nico Picasso.
This time, Jalal's a bad
guy.
Bad guy.
He's got a great bad guy vibe. Like, real Joker style vibe.
And Billy Blanks is the main character.
Yeah, Billy Blanks is the main hero, and then he's got a girl hero. Oh, this is like an awesome movie, like Terminator, Babe.
We got to do that next because.
Oh yes, let's do that. Right, yeah. I think I'm ready. We're on a roll.
Matthias comes back.
Yes,
but then we also have Bolo. So yeah,
that's where he faces off with Bolo. Oh, and the introduction of chi-based martial art. This is in the movies that we've talked about so far, and this like these last few days, we haven't seen one where people are projecting chi, and Bolo projects chi in this one.
Yeah, he does.
It's really interesting. So
yeah,
it's cool. All right, well, we can get into it. Let's see. You wanna?
Okay. Yeah. We'll
see you on the next one. Thanks a lot for watching and checking us out.
wmpyr over and out.
Later on. Bye bye.